Hello, how are you guys doing today? We are ENERg. We plan to be on the forefront of today's society's push to sustainability, primarily focusing on gravitational energy. We're here today to talk to you about our product, the CampLamp. It is a safe, sustainable lighting solution that can be run anytime, anywhere, free of fuel, and requires almost no human effort. My name is Liam O'Connor. I'm a senior mechanical engineering student at the University of New Hampshire. I love the camp, and I have experience in product design and development at New Hampshire ball bearings.
Hi, my name is Nick Shaw. I'm also a senior mechanical engineering student. I have experience doing research and development for the Jackson Laboratory.
Hi, my name is Nathan Doskocil. I'm a mechanical engineering student. I'll be entering industry as a process engineer. I have some small business experience, as well as experience in sales and manufacturing.
Hello, judges. My name is Brian Finney. I'm currently a senior studying a dual option in accounting and finance. I have Big Four commercial assurance experience accompanied by smaller corporate finance experience.
So I was camping one time last year, and I misjudged the distance to my campsite. So I arrived shortly after dusk, and I knew I had to set up my camp quickly and efficiently. I took out my flashlight and got to work, but shortly after, my flashlight ran out of batteries. Despite how often I go camping, I forget something each time, and of course this time it was the batteries. I had another option, it was a crank lantern, but after a long day of hiking, I didn't want to spend an exorbitant amount of time and effort for a small duration of light. As you can imagine, in the middle of the woods at night, it was scary. I didn't have a fire, it was cold. A scared mind is not a rational mind. I never wanted to feel like this again. My lighting solution had failed me. That's why we created the CampLamp. The CampLamp is an independent and reliable lighting solution that is powered from gravity. It's as easy as these 3 steps. Once you place your CampLamp at an elevated location, just hook, lift, and release. Obviously, this is a proof of concept, but our design will fit into a sleek, ergonomic shape resembling a water bottle. And if you have a pack that weighs 25 pounds, raised to 6 feet, you will get campsite illumination for an hour. Additionally, if you have smaller weight, you can get a longer amount of time with less illumination. If you have a heavier weight, inversely, you get less time with more illumination. My associate Nathan Doskocil will let you know about the market and why we chose these designs.
The 2014 American Camping Report states that 14% of Americans participated in camping in the last year. This equates to about 43 million individuals. In our first year, under product development, we hope to obtain 0.1% of this market. Further data from the American Camping Report stated that out of the top 6 most important camping-related purchases, fuel lighting came in 3rd at 11%, while battery lighting was 4th with 9%. This makes combined lighting solutions the single most important camping-related purchase. Some additional quotes from the American Camping Guide. Adult camping participants replace or purchase fueled lanterns the most frequently, on average about once every 2 years. Also in 2013, 1/4 of adult participants purchased battery-powered lighting, making it the most popular camping-related purchase. As you might be thinking, there are a number of competitive products in our market. However, each one has significant limitations. Fuel and battery-powered lighting require external fuel sources to be powered. Crank lanterns require a substantial amount of human effort to produce light, while solar lighting can only be powered or charged in direct sunlight. The CampLamp harnesses gravity, the only constant force on Earth. Because of this, it can be run anywhere at any time. Pass it over to my associate Nick. We'll talk on the design.
Thanks, Nate. So we have a unique and novel product in the CampLamp. Our proprietary gearing system has allowed us to design the CampLamp to be as compact and portable as possible. Our primary customer surveys indicated that being portable and compact is one of the most important design features regarding lighting solutions. Additionally, this allowed us to create our design to be sleek, ergonomic, and take a cylindrical shape so that it can be easily stowed in the water bottle pocket of any backpack.
Excuse me, just stay.
Furthermore, we have spoken with the patent attorney Paul Remus, who has over 40 years of experience in intellectual property, to discuss the patentability of the CampLamp. After doing our research and due diligence, we have identified 2 elements of the CampLamp that we believe will benefit from patent protection. The first is a utility patent regarding the internal engineering and gearing system within the CampLamp, and the second would be a design patent surrounding the physical look, feel, and form factor of the CampLamp. We believe that this will be a strategic business investment for us at ENERg. Our business model for the CampLamp will follow the traditional path of many consumer goods. We aim to target active outdoor enthusiasts who have a strong interest in new technology, sustainability, as well as living off the grid. We will distribute through regular channels such as wholesale retailers and online sale via our online website. We have estimated a variable cost per unit of the CampLamp to be roughly $8. This will include any direct materials, labor, and manufacturing overhead. We will wholesale the CampLamp for $40 and retail for around $40. So in order to gain our customer base, we plan to have a very strong marketing campaign using free mediums such as social media and crowdsourcing, while also taking our prototype and bringing it to camping expos and displaying it using product demonstrations. We plan to keep our customers by providing them with a very reliable and durable product that will last them a lifetime. We plan to grow our customer base by using the CampLamp as a platform product that we will build upon in future years. Now I'm going to hand it over to my associate Brian, who will discuss some of the financials.
Thank you, Nick. We anticipate startup costs of approximately $205,000 during 2016. First and foremost, $10,000 of these will be allocated to legal expenses, which will primarily cover the drafting and filing of our patent application. Additionally, we anticipate approximately $15,000 dedicated to marketing. Although this seems quite low, most of our marketing will be done using free mediums such as crowdsourcing through Kickstarter, social media through Facebook and Instagram, and other open blogs. The $15,000 should be enough to advertise on banners on online websites, which cost approximately $5,000 for 6 months, and to attend different expos such as the Outdoors Camping Expo in Salt Lake City, Utah, and this will cover all of those expenses. Moving forward, we anticipate manufacturing will cost approximately $80,000. This will cover the production of 3 molds and our first 5,000 units of input. And additionally, we anticipate research and development of $40,000. This may seem kind of low, but once again, we feel like due to our management team's capabilities and the engineering behind it, we can do a lot of the research on our own. Lastly, we have included $60,000 of what we consider to be survival salaries for 2 of us that will take on the project full time. So moving forward into financial projections, we anticipate that we can acquire approximately 0.1% of our target market during 2017, an additional 0.35% of the market during 2018, an additional 0.5% of the market during 2019, resulting in less than 1% of our total target market's acquisition. With that being said, in 2016, we project no sales, as most of our time will be spent towards research and development and marketing. In 2017, we project sales of approximately 43,000 CampLamps, excuse me, for a net income of approximately $180,000. In 2018, we project sales of approximately 150,000 CampLamps, resulting in a net income of about $950,000. And in 2019, we project sales of about 215,000 CampLamps, resulting in net income of about $1.2 million. This indicates a compound annual revenue growth rate of approximately 171% and ending retained earnings before plowback or payout to investors of about $2.5 million. So other than a sound financial return, why should you invest in energy? I'm going to tell you why. First and foremost, we have a revolutionary sustainable platform product which we consider to be the future electric Swiss Army knife. Not only will it be capable of providing your electrical and lighting needs, in the future it may have GPS pinging ability, the ability to be used as a multi-camping tool, and also water filtration. Additionally, we will leverage our intellectual property to act as an intangible asset that we can utilize in the future to deter future competition. And last, and perhaps most importantly, you aren't just investing in the CampLamp and energy, you are investing in a motivated, intelligent team that is willing to do whatever we have to do to make this world a better place. Thank you for your time, and we'd like to open it up for questions.
Thank you. So I have a question just in terms of how this works. So if I get to my campsite and I put it 6 feet up, right,
Yep.
I get an hour's worth of light or whatever,
Yep.
right, depending on, all of the parameters you talked about.
Yeah, it's just
So
the.
after my hour, can I take it down, put it back up, and get another hour?
Yep.
Okay.
So it's just, all it takes for one cycle is just lifting it, and you'll get light for a full hour.
Is the light equivalent to a flashlight or to a lantern?
It's a lantern, so you get, it's about a small camp size illumination.
You're going into an LED.
Yep.
It'd be several.
How many
small
lumens do you know that it throws?
We haven't done that. That's for the research and development. We're gonna get that.
I mean, basically, you have to get a gear ratio and then a weight
Yep.
at a time.
Yes.
Probably makes sense if you guys would store a little of that energy while throw light. So
So-
that at the end of the day, you know, if you want to turn it on remotely or something, you wouldn't have to go out there and hang your bag back up or
Yeah.
something.
Right.
That's a great idea, jeez.
So,
Carrying
like we
fuel
said-
around is not a cool thing, you know, I
Right.
mean, it poisons the environment, that's stupid, so you can deal those guys out immediately, you know?
So I'd look and say, why just camping? I mean, I'd be going to every utility company and saying, each one of your customers needs one of this, one of these in your, you know, emergency home backpack, right?
That'd be a great goal for us to achieve. We just kind of wanted to put this as our platform product and let you know that we're really focusing on trying to make this lighting feature work really well, and we'll be able to get that out and be recognized as a brand that produces high quality products. And then obviously, like we said, and you guys have touched upon, there's a lot of further applications for this, which we're really excited about, and just need to put their time in research and development to kind of get these things reality.
If you're not gonna break camp when it's dark all the time, I mean, you
Right.
never wanna just time it perfect.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
You can get to camp and hang up 2 of these things, and if they charged, that would be great. Then you're done, you put your sack in your tent or for bears or something, keep it hung up, but then you have light.
Yeah.
Right.
So on the financial side, excuse me, the financial side, you have an $8 cost that you indicated was variable.
Yep.
And a $40 wholesale, and you said $40 retail.
Excuse me, I think I misspoke.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure, so I didn't try to correct
Yeah.
myself, but I meant we're wholesaling for $20
Okay.
and retailing for $40. Sorry about
Okay.
that.
But the question I have is on the variable cost.
Yep.
That's not your total cost. When you were showing us those net profits,
Mhm.
cash profits,
Mhm.
were you factoring in
Yeah.
the fixed costs as well?
Yes, I can actually, if you're around later, I can show you, or actually like drawn out financial statements, which are pretty much in terms of GAAP, so they're very like technical. But we incorporated fixed manufacturing costs into our fixed expenses, and then the variable cost of $8 into our cost of sales, so our cost of goods sold.
Where did you derive that number from?
So in terms of determining our variable cost, you can actually flip to that storage slide. We originally thought we built our prototype for around like $12, kind of like in the store. So we anticipated that with economies of scale, after obtaining manufacturing, we could drop that about 50%. But we also went through a sensitivity analysis to see how that would affect our bottom line if we changed our variable cost per unit. So as you can see, the worst case we see is about $14 for what we made it now. And that would result in a break even about 43,000 units and only net income of a couple $1,000s during our first year. But also we showed an optimistic case, so if we were to get it down to $4 per unit, in our first year of sales, break even would drop to about 16,000 units and about anticipated net income of $303,000.
So before we get to the financials, I want to back up and start with a couple of things that are really sharp here. One is the consumer need is a real need. And so a lot of times there are business ideas where it's opportunistic, but this is a real need. And so every one of us, whether we camp regularly or not, understand what the need is. The second is that the idea is protectable. So when you talked about engaging a patent attorney, as it turns out, that's the most important thing you're going to have to do, aside from getting the prototype ready so that you know what to patent. But those are the most important things because everything rests on that. That's it. And then all the financials, you can figure out how much does it really cost to make. Because until you know what the prototype is, it's really, really hard to get any idea on what the cost would be. I think it's clever to try to get to the utility of the size and the portability and everything else. But, the functionality of the device is going to be the most important thing to not only you guys making a go of it, but whoever might want to take you over later, because you have to have something that is protected. The research, you're just so fortunate that there is very high quality research out there, and you've cited the right things, and any good company would start with research. In the end, you're going to need more research on your particular item against other items, and so it will cost you money to do it because you're going to want a third party to do the research. And so, anybody who would be a potential customer would want to see standalone third-party research. And so you'll have to factor that in terms of costs that you're going to need to incur before you're actually getting distribution at some of the larger retail. Which comes to the next question, which is, where do you think you're going to be selling this?
So we anticipate, obviously, to sell this via our online website, which would be direct sale at the full tilt value. However, we don't expect the bulk of our sales to be that way. In the beginning, we're going to try to sell items via the crowdsourcing. We're going to go up onto Kickstarter. But once we get past that stage, we're hoping to bring our product to some camping expos where there's a lot of large outdoor retailers like, Bass Pro Shops, some of those larger ones that just gear towards outdoor activities and stuff like that. So we hope to bring our product to them, show them how functional and capable the product is, show them the support that we've hopefully gained on Kickstarter and our other social media type marketing campaigns, and be able to come to them and be like, look, we have a really high quality product. We've got people who say they want the product the way it is, and hopefully that will be enough to convince wholesale retailers to put this on their shelves.
Well, and factor in at least three things that will happen when you get to what I call the mass retailers. So one is they're going to want promotional discounts from time to time. The second is you would need to agree to take back inventory if it doesn't sell. And then the third is you will need to respond to their needs very quickly. And so it comes back to how are you going to manufacture? Are you going to use a co-packer manufacturer to make these for you? And then, the financial statements would have to reflect the working capital necessary to inventory units. And so I guess the point is, it's a real need, there's good research on it, it's a good idea, you have to get a patent. And then from a financial standpoint, as you get closer, you're going to have to figure out how to build up capital so that you can really initiate larger sales. I mean, the early sales through online and everything would be great, you get experience with it, and it won't stress the system. But once you get to the point where you're getting distribution into any large-scale retailer, all things will break loose. I can't say the word.
I'm sorry. Have you considered seasonality with the camping market as well in your financials? You're going to have to take on inventory, and then seasonality. There's certain times that people are camping, and you're also taking the fact that there seems to be two kinds of camping. There's sort of that car camping, where there's campgrounds, and you have hike-in camping, which is perfect for. When in your market analysis, did you sort of break that out of really who is that camper?
Yeah.
And how big is that, the camping market's gigantic. Who is your target within that?
I think I can tackle that at least personally from a seasonality standpoint. We actually had it in the slides and we removed it. So what we did is we actually found the average camping days per season using Coleman's outside report. And by breaking that up and allocating a percentage, we were able to find that although it's quite linear throughout the year, mainly because this is mostly focused in the United States and people aren't camping out here in the winter, they're still camping out west. But our highest sales, the most camping actually takes place during the summer and spring months, followed by the fall and winter, so kind of as you expect. But the drop off in the winter isn't that much, it's still around like 20%.
The question I have for you guys, it starts with what Tom led into, and that is the working capital piece.
Yeah.
So the first question was, in the $205,000 initial capital, was the first year loss included in that?
So the first year loss is about $80,000 loss in net income, and that took a hit on the bottom line. In terms of just kind of being very conservative in like financial projections, I incorporated what a $100,000 bank loan would be at a high interest rate. So with that, we were still pretty much break even on cash flows. But once again, that's all dependent on if we crowdsource through Kickstarter, we'll be able to raise capital that way. If we find equity investors, we'll be able to get capital that way.
Yeah, the other piece to the inventory buildup, that's a very important piece to finance, but the other piece is the receivables, because when you sell into the large retailers, they're going to expect terms. And oftentimes from newer innovators like you guys, they're going to expect 30, 45, and 60-day terms, which really protract out to almost 90 days. And that working capital is what most new businesses face and don't realize they're going to face. So as you work through the analysis here, you'll want to build up in your pro formas, you're going to want to build up what your net working capital need is, and then what your sources are.
Okay.
I would love to talk to both of you guys more about that, because you definitely need to address that.
There are ways to do that. From the standpoint of regional expansion, so you're not taking on all of Bass's stores, you're taking them on in a region to begin with, getting to understand how they behave and what the stress it puts in your system. So it's not broken, but it usually is. Most small businesses that have good ideas that take off, they run into trouble on capital, and it's usually working capital, they get squeezed.
One other question, just following on Lisa's. So you're talking about seasonality, but are you looking globally so that, you know, or was this just US numbers?
Our initial market analysis was just in the US.
Okay.
That's because we had really
Yeah.
quality data regarding it, and we just wanted to kind of start small to get our hands dirty and really tackle this problem. And I also wanted to address your question really briefly about who exactly we're targeting for, especially right in the beginning. So obviously this is kind of like a new and innovative product, so we're really hoping to push towards early adopters, usually people between 18 and 40 years old, who people are really active, avid campers, people who aren't necessarily a car camper, people who are really going out and hiking, doing multiple overnight trips, trying to pack light and efficiently, and we're hoping that this product really appeals to people like that.
Here, a quick question. You've come up with that size, so obviously there's some thought to gear ratios and weight. You suggested that there are plastic gears or powder metal gears, or you've got a cost that you've already associated to manufacturing. Where do you derive that from?
So this is obviously a proof of concept, but we can't actually publicly disclose any proprietary information.
That's fine. But you can compact a ratio and a weight.
So we
and
have
done the math that
Yeah.
you wouldn't be at third base without touching first. I get
Yeah,
it.
no,
I have to ask the question.
We actually, we struck out first, we're trying to go large scale,
Yeah.
and we found that exactly why you can use gravity is only at this small power level. Because we
Yeah.
tried to do a generator.
Well,
and
it
then
paid
bring
off
up
to
that.
size. I mean,
Yeah.
it came back in a positive way to you.
Yeah,
you know.
and we built this actually in 2 days off just gears that we found out of a toy car. So we truly know that within the next 2 weeks, we made it to the finals, we could actually
What do you
have-
anticipate the weight to be?
It's about
And will it hang on one end and you'll hang on the other? It'll be a linear, or is it going to lay sideways?
It'd be kind of like this.
Will it balance in the middle or in the side, or
So we
tilt? I mean, it's
We
got
do
to
the
have some
housing.
center of gravity.
Yeah,
right?
we're trying to plan the housing to
Gotcha.
affect for where the gearing and the motor is.
And it's
where
weatherproof.
the weight is.
Right.
Yeah,
Rain
Yeah, so-
resistant, yeah.
we're trying to get a little
And you
bit
think
lighter
you
than
can
that.
do 3D printing with this? I mean,
We're gonna start with prototypes of 3D printing, we hope, and then we're gonna need the molds, as Brian talked about,
Yep.
to get the mass manufacturing.
Guys, one last question. Tom brought it up about the research, and some of the best research I've seen, small startup or young companies do, they call it outside-in research, and it's nothing more than going out and touching at least your target market, live target markets, 200 or better number of people, and ask the probing questions on whether they would buy this. And there's a technique to do it, and there's people that do it. That outside-in research is the most valuable.
It's a qualitative research, even though you need a good base size, but what you're finding out is a lot of the verbatims are the things that are the richest. So you're not trying to find out A, B, C, and D.
Right.
It really is important. Now, one question on the patent. If you get the utility patent, would it also apply in Europe? You have to file, but
We'd file in the US,
at
and
the
then
same
also
time, you
file.
could file in Europe.
Yes, we could file in Europe if we would definitely seek
And
to do
then,
that.
just
as well.
a comment, I've seen a lot of scale-ups, and usually people start with a very small device, and then they build it up to the size they want. You've kind of done the opposite, and actually the hardest thing to do for manufacturing companies is from the lab to get to an actual production system. You're going kind of the opposite way. Is there any reason for that, other than that's the best way to fiddle with it?
So at first it was just it was an idea. I was thinking about it, and I was like, really cool if I could power something that's always gravity. But I actually I thought about it wrong, and so I thought I could power my house. And it takes about 750 pounds, and you get about half a toaster's worth of power.
I was
So
going to say, don't use the air conditioning.
yeah.
You know how many watts it produces, or what?
Yeah,
units?
so I mean, an LED can run off 0.02 watts, but we want more.
Any restrictions to hanging two of them together and using the same weight?
To
Slow the load, it'll slow the drive down, but then you increase the,
the CampLamps?
yeah, put two of them with the same load. So now you've doubled the time, but you're creating the same energy.
Yes.
No, we're not.
I think that was the last question, yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you guys
Thank you.
very much.
Very good.